Welcome to Wednesday, my friends. I'm meteorologist Andrew Humphrey. Rain continues to pour down. Flood concerns still abound. We have a flood watch, and on top of that, now a wind advisory for part of the area. When does it come to an end? I've got the answer first at 4.
All right, Andrew, also first at 4, Michigan reaches a big new milestone in the COVID pandemic while we wait for word on booster shots for many Americans. We've got the latest. Paula.
Well, a theater turned parking lot turned theater again. Just wait until you see what they're doing with the old Michigan Building Theater this weekend. It's craziness. These stories and more are happening right now on Local 4, first at 4.
Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, we are seeing a rainy and messy beginning to fall as that season officially started within the past hour. Many of you may have had to drive around streets flooded like this at 6 Mile and I-75. Widespread and steady rain could continue into Friday. We're tracking a flood watch and several local warnings right now. Meteorologist Andrew Humphrey tracking it all for us. Andrew, what is the latest?
Well, Karen, the rain continues to pour down, as you mentioned. Fall began at 3:20 this afternoon with the equinox, and the flood watch continues all the way through the rest of the afternoon, through tonight and into tomorrow. It does not end until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Now, on top of that, it's quite windy out there, breezy here in Detroit, but more damaging winds in Sanilac and St. Clair counties. That's where a wind advisory is up until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. On top of that, flood warnings for all area rivers that are basically in effect now, but are basically indefinite. It's until further notice that they will expire, because this is an unfolding situation and a progressing situation. Rain continues to pour in from the south. This conveyor belt of moisture extends all the way down into parts of Ohio and Indiana. Look at rain totals so far. The areas in red: Novi, Farmington Hills, West Bloomfield. 5 inches or more within the past 24 hours at least. But here in Detroit, even in the rest of Wayne County, a healthy 2 to 3 inches or more, just over 3 inches also in Macomb County. So rain will continue as we go through the evening, and temperatures remain on the cool side in the 50s. We'll talk about when this comes to an end, because it eventually does, but I have to show you that in your 7-day forecast in minutes.
Meantime, Andrew, rain has put a pause on the events taking place over at Motor Bella in Pontiac. Organizers canceled all events scheduled today at the M1 concourse as a safety precaution. Our cameras captured many exhibits filled with water and covered in tarps. The focus now turns to the public opening of the event, and that is still scheduled for tomorrow. We've got a complete list of events set for this weekend and how you can get tickets on the community page of clickondetroit.com. Michigan lawmakers just putting the finishing touches on the passage of a new $70 billion budget deal. The general government bill and higher education bill both passed the House and Senate. The deal includes $196 million to fix 100 crumbling bridges and over $14 million for extreme weather preparations. Also, child care workers will receive a one-time $1,000 bonus. Governor Whitmer plans to sign the bipartisan budget into law before fiscal year 2022 begins, and that is on October 1st. From Michigan to the White House, we are tracking the very latest developments in the coronavirus pandemic. Here at home, we did just reach a sobering milestone. As of today, the state of Michigan has recorded more than 1 million cases of the virus. The total over the past 2 days was more than 6,000. Of course, that translates to a daily average of about 3,000, slight increase from Monday's report. We've also seen 81 additional deaths, bringing the total for the pandemic to more than 20,000. So many families impacted by COVID-19. Right now, we are waiting for critical decisions on the Pfizer COVID booster shots in America, even as President Joe Biden pushes the whole world to get vaccinated. Kimberly Gill, busy in our newsroom this afternoon, tracking the big story headlines of the day. Kim.
Hi, Karen. Good afternoon. There's so much going on with coronavirus vaccines. We're going to try to keep it simple by focusing on just 2 key parts of the battle against COVID. First, we're tracking the process to consider a 3rd shot for people 65 and older, or anyone who is at high risk from COVID-19. We're waiting on word from the FDA to see if the agency will follow the recommendation from its advisory panel last week, meaning the CDC's advisory panel could vote on that proposed plan for boosters tomorrow. As you can tell, there are a lot of hoops to go through before more people, I should say, can get the shots. Meanwhile, President Biden spoke at a United Nations COVID summit, promising another 500 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine to distribute to low and middle income countries.
We're not going to solve this crisis with half measures or middle-of-the-road ambitions. We need to go big, and we need to do our part. Governments, the private sector, civil society, leaders, philanthropists. This is an all-hands-on-deck crisis.
Many experts say sharing vaccines with the entire world will help prevent future COVID variants from developing. We're watching for any new developments from the FDA or CDC, and we'll have updates as needed and tonight on Local 4 News at 5. For now, Karen, we'll send it back to you.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you, Kim.
Sure.
Now, less than 24 hours ago, investigators confirmed the case swirling around Gabby Petito is now a homicide investigation. Today, search teams fanned out in a Florida wilderness park looking for Petito's fiance, Brian Laundrie. He's been gone since last Tuesday, but his parents didn't report him missing until Friday. Laundrie is a person of interest in the case. Petito never came home after a cross-country trip with him. Tests confirmed her body was found in Wyoming. Cause of death has not been revealed. The United States government faces a shutdown if federal funding stops in just 8 days. The Democratic House of Representatives has passed a bill that keeps the government funded, suspends the debt limit, and provides disaster and refugee aid. But that vote was along party lines. The Republican opposition in the Senate could make a resolution difficult. We'll keep you posted as that September 30th deadline is drawing closer. The COVID-19 pandemic has put so many cultural activities in jeopardy, including the art of theater. It's taken extraordinary and out-of-the-box thinking to keep the arts alive when people are reluctant to go out. Paula Topman joins us from a new theater venue to show us how some really creative people are really living the adage, the show must go on. Paula?
Oh, well, Karen, what's old again is new again. So here, walk with me. I just want to show you this. Do you recognize this right here from the movie 8 Mile with Eminem? That's where they did the rap battle scene. But take a look around. This incredible Michigan building theater is being turned back into a theater as we enter a second full year of COVID. This tentative, cautious approach to going back to these things that we truly enjoy. They're not slipping away because certain people have a grasp on creativity and they're changing the way we look at theater. There's something to be said for dressing up, picking up tickets, and making a night of live theater. There's something else that can be said for what happens when that ability goes away because of a global pandemic.
When the doors started shutting down, our dancers went home, studio lights turned off.
And so theater companies, known for being creative, have had to get creative to keep theater and dance alive, so it'll be there when we can fully get back to it one day. The Grand Rapids Ballet, Michigan's only professional company, 50 years old this year, is just one company looking for ways to keep its audience, grow its audience, and survive to make it to year 51.
We're offering a little bit of everything. So we have contemporary works and we have some classical favorites. Off the Canvas is starting off in the next 3 weeks.
And here's how they're doing it, by reopening subscriptions for a virtual season. That works pretty much like on-demand live streaming premium television.
We have the family favorite, The Nutcracker, coming out in December.
You subscribe, and then you watch the premium performances from the comfort of your own home. Dressing up is optional. For Michigan Opera Theater, thinking outside the box is an option.
The only thing to be careful here is the audience moving around.
To keep that box office open, but walking away from that box entirely has been critical to grow and keep theater and opera alive. Saturday, opera moves into the old Michigan Building Theater for a marathon performance called Bliss.
3 minutes of Marriage of Figaro, towards the end of Marriage of Figaro, and the singers, same orchestra, repeats it for 12 hours.
Reports of this theater's demise have been greatly exaggerated when you are literally reinventing what theater is in a pandemic.
Every single time that they go through these 3 minutes, it's never going to be quite the same. You'll be picking up each and every time on new subtleties, new ideas. I'm going to be moving the singers around in this incredible space over the course of 12 hours. So every hour actually has a different constellation.
Oh, yeah, you know, and in case you're wondering, yeah, it is still a parking lot below us, a parking garage, I should say, at the corner of Cass and Basley. But by using this raw, beautiful, almost nearly forgotten architect as a set, audiences will be able to come. They pay what they want, Karen, and this is the interesting thing. You can actually stay as long as you want because it's constantly changing and you get to see it from different vantages.
What a great concept.
I love it.
I do too. Leave it to the theater folk to come up with a creative solution. Looking forward to this. Thank you, Paula.
Thanks, Karen.
Still ahead here first and for the U.S. Space Force. We are getting our very first look at the uniforms for the newest military branch in the U.S., the look and the symbolism ahead. Also, held hostage. The threat from this volcanic eruption isn't going away anytime soon. You definitely have to feel for the people on this island. But first, outrage after a school bus shooting. One child is dead, others are injured. What we've learned about the crime so far.